Welcome to www.killthatnoise.com. I'm your boy, D. Cameron McMahon. Listen, today we got special guest host with me. I want to introduce to everybody owners of Bred Different ALS, my friends Kanisha and Jordan. Listen, thank you for joining us today. Listen, we're gonna have real fun today, right? Because we got with us our special guest from Inglewood, California, my man, New Williams. Listen, welcome, sir.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Listen, we're going to get into it, right, because it's a special edition for us. We've been doing a lot of sports, football mainly, and you are actually our first basketball interview, so it's a real big deal for us. So we just want to go ahead and jump right in it. So I want to ask this question. I know a lot of people wonder about this. New Williams, right? That's the name we hear called. It's stuck with you. We just want to know, where does that come from?
So my full name is actually Nuriel, but most people, they can't pronounce that when I tell them right off the bat. So my middle name is Elijah. So my initials spell out New, and they've been calling me that since I was a kid, and as I grew with basketball, the name just kind of stuck with me.
Listen, it's real unique. That's something I didn't know. Listen, it is. It's real catchy. I'm Cam. That's not my initials, but I'm just gonna be Cam. I like it. Right. So let's talk. Right. A little basketball. And you talked about that name sticking to you. And if people actually Google you, look you up on Instagram, they see a lot new. He's a dunker. I seen people put out the challenges. I can dunk better than New. I can do this. Like, what does that mean to you that people compare their dunking to you, and where do you get your dunking inspiration from?
I mean, it's an honor, when you have people that are looking up to you, trying to do what you do, trying to emulate you. That's the highest form of flattery. So I'm always very grateful to be in that position. And I kind of was just born with athleticism. It's one of the gifts that I was blessed with, and I actually tore my ACL in my junior year of high school, and that's where I kind of started to develop the athleticism that I was already born with and kind of take it to the next level.
Listen, that's dope. That's dope because, as you say, you tore your ACL. You don't see a lot of people come back with that explosiveness and things like that. So that's a testament to the work that you put in to be able to continue that career and do that piece of it. So let's salute to that, man. Listen, I watch it. I'm as a football player. Listen, that's my dream to be able to fly like that. So listen, I get excited just watching it. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, I shall say that vertical, so I'm serious. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Speaking of which, you tested it, right? I've seen a couple of videos. I don't know if I've seen actual numbers. What were the numbers on the test?
So on my most recent test, it was a 51.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Okay, I seen the video where you tested at Auburn. They had the beam up next to the rim and all that stuff. Do you remember your number from that?
Yeah, that was my freshman year, and that was my sophomore year, and it was 48 and a half.
Okay, 48 to 51 now. Okay, that's what's up. Okay.
Listen, that's that work, and as Jordan just mentioned, you went to Auburn, right? So going playing at Auburn and then transitioning to Fresno State. What was the decision on that transfer, that move? What led you to Auburn, and what was the decision transfer and moving to Fresno State?
Well, right out of high school, like I said, when I tore my ACL, I had every school in the country after me. And when I tore my ACL, a lot of those schools backed out.
Yeah.
Auburn came after, when I was in the process of coming back, during my rehab process. That's when Auburn became active, and I felt like, okay, they believe in what I can do. You know, all these other schools, they left, they thought it was over for me. Like towards ACL. So, but Auburn's persistence made me feel like, okay, I can trust them. I know that they actually believe in what I can do. They believe I can come back. They believe I can be what I was when all these other schools were after me. So, and then once I took my official visit there, and when I stepped foot on campus, I told my dad, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming here.
Oh yeah, the campus is nice. Like the campus will do it. It is. It's really nice. Like the atmosphere, it'll do it to you.
Yeah, I loved it. So my transition, the reason why I left and ended up going to Fresno State is just because, you know, I was struggling with injury. When I got there, I had to have a second surgery to remove a ball of scar tissue the size of a golf ball that was on my graft. So luckily we had James Andrews there, which is like the best surgeon in the world. Because if he wasn't there, you know, it was a very difficult surgery, and anybody else probably would have ended up re-tearing my ACL. Then I had to have another ACL surgery, and then I would have had to have another 6 to 7 month recovery. So luckily I didn't have to go through that process, but that kind of like made the coaching staff a little nervous about putting me out there, because even after I had that surgery, you know, I came back, I was good. The first 2 games, I played really well, 16-5, and everybody's talking about me, and everybody's expecting a big year from me. But throughout that year, I would tweak it, and I would have to sit out for 2 weeks here, sit out for 3 weeks here. And that kind of just made everybody a little nervous to put me out there on the court. And, Auburn is going to recruit. Bruce Pearl, he's going to recruit. He's a great recruiter. So I had to think about, what the best decision would be for me. I had to just really think like, am I gonna do what I need to do here? And honestly, when I think back on it, after I left, after I finished college, I would have played. I would have been able to do what I needed to do. But at that time, being in the moment, I felt like that was the best decision was for me to just start somewhere else.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Listen, that's the people they don't know.
I can respect that. And you're right. I tore my ACL my junior year of college, and I went to Auburn as well. My junior year of college, Dr. Andrews did my surgery too. I had a clean tear, so like my surgery, he went in, cleaned it up, took no time. My recovery wasn't bad. And I even came back stronger with the rehab and the regimen they put you on at Auburn. Like, you kind of don't have a choice but to come back stronger. So, yeah, so I can second you on that.
The good doctor down at Auburn, shouts out to the good doctor, one of the best in the country. Listen, so with you both playing at Auburn and knew you experienced in Fresno State as well, what's the atmosphere for you at Auburn, and then compared to Fresno, right? Both you can answer that as far as the atmosphere, because we know Auburn to be known as a football school, but as a basketball player, what's it like down there being a basketball player, and then compare the two atmospheres? Not saying one is better than the other, but kind of make that comparison for us.
Well, when I got there, it was kind of that transition. Everybody's Auburn's a football school, but my class, now they're being considered, that's one of the greatest classes in Auburn history.
Yeah. So, definitely.
That the transition there was almost like, as many, of course the stadium is not as big, but we were packing that stadium out, a lot of those games, standing room only. It's, people storming the court, Kentucky game, Auburn got fined for that game. Everybody stormed the court. So, the atmosphere was probably one of the best in the nation. And the transition going from that to Fresno was a little tough, because Fresno's gym is a lot bigger. It seats maybe 16,000, 17,000. where Auburn seats 9,000.
Yep, it's more
So
compact.
we're getting about, on a really good game, on a game where we have a lot of fans, we get maybe about 7,000 fans. Where you put 7,000 fans in Auburn Arena, it's gonna look packed.
Yeah.
But you put 7,000 fans in an arena that seats 16,000, and everybody's spread out, it's pockets. The atmosphere is just not the same.
Right.
Now, when I was there, it was a football school, and that was fine because we had Cam Newton there, so like he had the place rocking. Like it was always something going on, always something to do, so on and so forth. I kind of enjoyed the fact that basketball got attention. Like we were loved on. They took really good care of us as athletes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I kind of after seeing the treatment the football team was getting after like losses or big losses, where some players wouldn't be able to go to class because of the hate they would get going to class because they blew a big game. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of cool to be able to experience and get that kind of rah-rah feel with college, but not to be able to get the flack. Like if we lost, like can we lost? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that girl just lost. Like, but you know what I'm saying? If we won, we got loved on. People was coming to the game, so on and so forth. But we didn't get the heat. You know what I'm saying? The football players was getting. We weren't getting the heat maybe a Final Four men's team would get if they lost, a game to Alabama or something. You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting that heat. So I enjoyed the fact that it was a football school and that we had other sports that we could kind of go and cheer on because they were just that good.
Yeah. So and that's a big deal, right? When you think about it, because I remember the transition of Auburn. I remember the tournament in which Kentucky, the game Kentucky, which you spoke of, right? And what people thought, Auburn, I don't know if they're gonna make it. Then they start upsetting people in the tournament. They start doing these type of things. So I remember that transition, and it was a big deal on ESPN. So that's a class I think that's gonna be remembered in basketball, and it's a big deal that you was part of that class. And now transition again to Fresno. You're an Inglewood guy, California, being in Auburn in the South, and now you back in Fresno, being that your family is in California. What does that mean to them and to you that now that you're closer, that they can come support more? Not saying they didn't support in Auburn, but now that you're closer, that they can come and watch you play.
Yeah, it meant a lot to them. They came to a lot more games. They were able to come to a lot more games. They were down there as much as they could be. So it was really good for them to be able to be, just 3 hours away as opposed to 2,500 miles. So they were really appreciative of that fact.
Yeah. So let's talk Fresno. I know we all looked it up. We all seen it, right? We all seen it. When we mentioned you're a dunker, 51-inch vertical. Listen, high flying, all this stuff. Then you get to Fresno. Here come the threes. Right? Here come the 3-pointers. Here comes the records. Here come this. Like, what does that for you? How did that solidify you as a player? And what did that mean to you, being known as a dunker to a lot of people, to be able to go out and accomplish that?
It meant a lot because I've always had to, deal with that dynamic, since I started dunking in middle school. I was back then, I'm one of the only guys that's in the, 6th, 7th, 8th grade that's dunking. So that's where everybody is focused on. That's where everybody wants to see. Because even in high school, I'm shooting 3 to 7 threes a game. I'm making 4 to 5 a game. But that's not really what people were there to see. They were there to see all the dunks. And even as I started to kind of brand myself on that as well, with my social media and all that. When I went out to Auburn, we did our Pearl Jam, and I've won the dunk contest there, and that ended up on Bleacher Report, and all kind of stuff like that. And so people, it came to a point where since I said like I said, I was getting hurt a lot, and you know, I wasn't playing as much as I would have liked. You know, I think I was playing about 6-7 minutes a game. People were coming early to the games to see me dunking warm-ups.
The warm-up.
You know, so I kind of branded myself on that. But when I got to Fresno, just knowing my goals, when I'm there, I'm like, man, I'm trying to get to the league. You know, I've had this kind of hard road. You know, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna be 2 and done. That's what I was thinking when I was coming out of high school, and it was kind of looking like that at first. But when it wasn't looking like that anymore, I was like, okay, like I got to make sure that people know, like I don't just dunk the ball. I'm not right. Just a highlight. So yeah, I stopped dunking the warm-ups. I stopped making it, you know, about the dunks. During the season, I didn't post any dunking videos or anything like that. I wanted to make it strictly about what I was doing on the court. And you know, I think I did that. I broke a couple of the records at Fresno State, and I tied some records for the Mountain West for threes. So you know, that was kind of my goal when transitioning from Auburn to Fresno, was just make sure that people know, like, there's more to my game than just the dunks.
Yeah. So you talked about the records. We hinted on the records. So walk me through the mindset, right? 10 threes, right, in a game, right? What's the mindset? Okay, I hit the first one, I'm good. I hit the second one, I'm probably, you know, come down to the third one, is heat check, I make it. Now I'm 5-6 threes in. What's the mentality at that point, you know, for you to be able to finish with 10? And what was the reaction for the school and your team as far as the excitement for you?
Yeah, I'm let's touch on this. So in the way that I am, I'm, you know, Kobe is my favorite player.
Okay.
Kobe has the most missed field goals in NBA history, because he's not worried about the misses. He's not worried about percentages. It's just all about the next play. So when we came out the game, their best player was guarding me, but he was like sagging off me and going under screens. I was actually hurt this game. I didn't practice the whole week. I had my knee wrapped up in heavy bandaging. I couldn't really move it, couldn't really bend it. But I hid it underneath some tights so that, you know, nobody will really be like, oh, okay, he's hurt, go after his leg. You know, people might want to play like that. So I hid it under some tights. I don't really know what was wrong with it, but I was just having like a lot of pain. I had to get some what's that shot? I had to get some shot, not a cortisone shot, but I forgot what it was. It was like some gel. I had to get the shot just to kind of ease the pain. So when I came out, I saw that he was going under the screens, and I'm like, oh, he must. This is coach not telling the scouting report, like
the disrespect.
Yeah. So I hit the first one. I told him, like, hey, like, I don't know if your coach told you to go under them screens, but like, you probably shouldn't do that for the rest of the game. But he didn't say anything back, and he kept doing it. So in the first half, I hit 3. I only hit 3, and I think I was like 3 for 6 or 3 for 7 or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, like, you know, I said, and when I went into the locker room, I said, if he keeps going under, like, I'm gonna break the NCAA record for threes.
Right.
So I came out, and we were actually losing this game. So it was kind of a little bit more than, you know, just him disrespecting me. This is like, this team is known for being the worst team in the league. They're not supposed to be playing with us. So I had to kind of ramp it up a little bit, because, you know, they're not supposed to be in the game. Like, we blow this team out every single time we play them. So came out doing the same stuff, guarding it the same exact way. So I hit, like 5 in a row. And now I'm at 8. And so now my point guard, he was a freshman. He's like, you hit 8 threes, right? And I was like, oh, did I? He was like, look, I got my key. I'm gonna try to get you the ball again so you can get you can get to at least 8. So he's trying to get me the ball, and I ended up getting the ball a couple more times, and then I hit the 10. But it's still like 8 minutes remaining in the game. So I really could have broke the NCAA record. But at this point, we had grabbed the lead, and my coach pulled me out of the game. I was a little upset about that.
I gotta save you.
Could have broke the record, right?
Still trying to break no records now.
But I understood. It was because I was hurt, and they were supposed to have me on minute restriction. I was only supposed to play, I think, 16 or 20 minutes that game, but we were losing, so it was like we didn't have a choice. So I played 35. So he tried to just get me out when he could. After we had secured, I think it was a 15-point lead. So
yeah. So what's the response in the locker room, and not just the locker room? I know that changes. You knew what you could do. You knew what you were capable of. But for other people to see that social media and those type of things, what was the response to you when you woke up the next day or that night?
This response was crazy. My phone was blowing up. Everybody is like, oh, you hit 10. Like, everybody's excited. The guy who actually had the record before me, he was texting me during the game. Like don't break my record.
What was the actual number?
The record was 10. So I tied the record for Mountain West. Yeah. Which is why I'm like, keep me in the game for
right.
Yeah, but it is what it is. He's hitting me the whole game like, hey, you getting kind of close, like chill out. But I came back to the locker room and saw that, and so that was pretty funny.
Yeah. That's
a
big deal.
Workout transition, like as far as like the off season and like the conditioning you did at Auburn versus what you did at Fresno State?
Fresno is soft coming from Auburn. Like we are waking up at doing 6 a.m.s, running the stadiums, weights. After that,
immediately,
right? Then right to class, doing our class schedule. Then we eat real quick. Then boom, back to the weight room.
Back to workouts. Yeah.
Right? Practice. Then study. So the regimen was a lot more rigorous at Auburn, whereas Fresno State, I think we had with both coaches actually, we had like 1 week of 6 a.m.s, and it was like we were in the gym, and it was just like a no ball workout, and it lasted an hour, so I wasn't tired. I was
right.
Like,
that's crazy. See, I went to a D2 school, and then I transferred to the D1. So my D2 school was Lane College. And when I went to UAPB, which is the D1 school, it was like, I was trying to figure out how was it. I did more at the D2 school. Like it was crazy. Like we waking up at, you talking about some 6, I'm at D2, we get up at 4:30, running from our gym to the open arena, around the arena. Then got to get up and watch film. Then we got to eat. We got another conditioning. Then we got 3 o'clock outside, rain, sleet, or snow. We out here running the rain on the track, going through the ladder in the rain, running up hills in the rain. I'm like, dang. Then I get to UAPB, we only do conditioning in the evening time. I'm like, what? It was way worse. We did way more, like as far as like workouts and weights and conditioning at my D2 school than we did at my D1 school. That's why I asked.
Yeah, and it's different. So I feel that way. Listen, no disrespect to any of the young people that's gonna see this, right? I'm 36, and the time we was doing 4:30s too when I was in college doing weights
I'm
and stuff like
33.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
5 in the morning.
so so it's a
And
lot
you
different
better
now.
be if the practice at 5. You better
Yeah,
be there an hour before in the
yeah,
the treatment room, getting your ice, whatever you need to getting tape, whatever you need. Like I don't want to hear. Come 5 o'clock. I don't want to hear nothing.
Well, I mean, soon we left that track, I was
moving. That's it.
I need my ice.
That's it.
It's different. NCAA got a lot of restrictions now than they did when we were coming up. So listen, I can't always blame all the coaches, right? Because it's so much they have to really abide by, especially when you have a name.
Yeah.
But when you have a name like Auburn, you have a name like the conference name, SEC, ACC, those type of things, right? A lot of people probably don't want to say it. There's a lot of things that are overlooked versus some of those bigger name schools that some of those smaller conferences and stuff probably couldn't get away with. But and you put in that work though, right? And now, right? Let's talk. You transitioning, right? G League stint, now Dunkademics, right? Now that's a big thing, right? Everybody wants to be on Dunkademics, right? How did that happen for you, right? As far as them approaching you and what they look like, because when you're on Dunkademics, everybody say you're a pro dunker, right? You're a pro dunker when you're on Dunkademics, So all the kids, I train athletes and stuff myself, high school and stuff. They all watching Dunkademics, want to know how to dunk, want to do this type of stuff, right? What was that for you, and how did that approach happen for you?
I think he just hit me up one day. It was like, hey, let's do a dunk session. Are you in LA? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, now whenever he wants to do something, or if I got an idea and I want to do something, we just hit each other up, and he wants to set up dunk sessions and all these kind of things. So I was like, hey, why not? I can use it to get myself out there.
Yeah, that's the promotion piece of it. And the reason I want to ask, right, and I know we talked off the segment about you doing the stint with Ignite in G League, but I can't remember exactly which year, where the NBA dunk contest had a segment where they featured pro dunkers, right, people who were not in the NBA to be able to compete and things like that. If there was a thing that could happen again, would you be willing to do that, to compete against those guys in the dunk contest, to be able to show you? Because I remember the Jordan Kilgannon and all them as named dunkers to be known. Would that be something you'd be willing to do? And also, how do you go about coming up with the dunks that you do?
So Dunk Kings actually reached out to me a couple of years back because they wanted me to be on the show. But I was in school, so I wasn't gonna. If I won, I wasn't gonna get the money.
Right.
So I was like, I'm good. But now, I mean, it kind of still goes back to what I said earlier. Until I establish, my pro career 100%. Because especially because COVID going on and stuff. So I understand, the weight, and I've been here before. Just the long journey I've had. I've been in this position before, so I understand how to handle it. But due to all that, I kind of like put the extracurricular stuff on the back burner, to just until I accomplish what I need to accomplish, or until what I need to get done happens. I'm like, okay, the extracurricular stuff has to get set aside.
Right. That's fair. So let's talk this piece. I'm glad you said that. So for you looking to make your professional career a thing, right? If I'm an NBA GM, a coach, or somebody like that, right, and I'm scouting New Williams, and I'm looking what he brings, what he could have to offer my team. for me to be able to make a decision to say I want this guy, right? Give me a pitch, a 1 minute pitch or something to be able to tell a GM or a coach, what does New Williams bring to my organization? What do I have to benefit if I took a chance on this guy?
Well, first I would start off with intangibles. And the first thing that I'm gonna say is my leadership abilities. You know, I have natural leadership abilities. I know how to lead. I know how to lead a team. I know how to get guys ready. I know how to encourage players. I know how to manage players if somebody's down or if somebody's upset. 9 times out of 10 on every team that I've been on, I'm the guy that everybody comes to. So that's the number one intangible that I would say. Then I will also say, you know, just as a hustle player, as somebody with grit, somebody that's determined, somebody that has a chip on their shoulder. Every team always needs that because, you know, especially in what you see in all these leagues nowadays is a lot of entitlement. You know, people, when you're talented, you feel like you're supposed to be there. Like, I'm supposed to be here. But at the end of the day, this is a game, and we all have the privilege of being able to play this game. And that person that's talented could be knocked off by somebody that's working harder than them. And I pride myself on that. Now, even though I have these talents and all that stuff, which is cool, you know, that's not really what I don't want to sell that to people. I want to sell my work ethic because I'm gonna be the first one in the gym and I'm gonna be the last one to leave every single time. And then I'm a knockdown shooter. Everybody needs a knockdown shooter on their team. You see everybody is talking about Danny Green and all this kind of, because that's his job, is to be a knockdown shooter. And you know, we all have bad games and we all have bad stints, but when you're a specialist, the league pays you to produce. That's what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Then I have, you can't teach athleticism. Now you can teach it to a certain extent. You can kind of elevate it. If you have some athleticism, you can elevate it. But natural born athleticism, you can't teach that. Like I'm creating a fitness brand, a fitness business where I help people, you know, understand how the body works and understand how to elevate, you know, their vertical leap and understand how to, you know, use their body to their advantage athletically. But what I make sure I tell people is that you're not going to be me. I can't get you a 51-inch vertical. I can improve whatever you have, but I can't get you a 51-inch vertical. And that's also an intangible because you can't teach how to be an athlete. And then my biggest thing, to be honest, and this is what I think is the best part about my game, is defense. I'm a willing and active defender.
That's it.
Yeah.
People don't want to play defense.
Willing. I was about to say that's it. Yeah. Willing. You gotta. A lot of people don't want to play it. They don't want. People
don't want to play defense, and that I love defense.
Me too.
I want to shut down the best player every single time.
I want to take that.
It don't require skill. Like it real deal just require heart and grit and some gut. Like you really just gotta want to get after somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta. That's something you take personal. And
big facts.
Definitely.
You know, a lot of people, especially in today's climate, you know, everybody wants to talk about mental health and that kind of stuff. And you know, to a certain extent, I understand it. But as an athlete, our job is to be mentally tough. We get put through all these, you know, strenuous situations, all these workouts. Like, we're not waking up at 6 a.m. for no reason. We're not waking up at 6 a.m. just because it's the best time to work out. No, all that stuff is there and put in place to build mental toughness. And that's what defense. That's what all of this offense, whatever you want to call it,
the
whatever
whole
sport
game.
you play. That's what it's about. It's about how can I be mentally stronger than my opponent. How can I get in my opponent's head? How can I get under my opponent's skin? How can I keep my opponent from getting under my skin? How can I elevate above him mentally? You know, that's what the game is about. And I pride myself on being 100% as mentally tough as it gets.
Listen, that's a big deal. Everything you mentioned is a real thing, and it's something that a lot of athletes, particularly those that are trying to get into it, right, with the youth in high school that's looking to get in college, is something that they really definitely need to hear and really take heed of, right? And you said the biggest word you said to me was willingness, right? And you don't see a lot of willingness in a lot of athletes today. So that's a big deal. 3-and-D is what the NBA needs. All teams need that 3-and-D. So listen, if you're a GM, you looking for a good 3-and-D, my man New Williams, that's the guy. That's the guy for you. So listen, before we get into the rapid fire, to be able to start winding this down, give some advice to any, like I said, young athlete that's looking to go to college. I know both you guys kind of do this. You say you're creating your brand to be able to teach a certain part of the game about your body and those type of things, as well, continuing to pursue your dreams for the NBA. And you guys at Bred different. Give some advice to an athlete younger who's looking to go to college, right? Just some kind of advice to be able to encourage them about how to get there and what those roads could look like.
I would say don't look past the journey. A lot of times we get so goal oriented, like I want to do this. I want to do this. This is my goal. We get so goal oriented that we look past the journey. So when we haven't got to our goals, or when something doesn't happen, you know, at the time that we want it to happen, like I thought at this time I'd be doing this. When we get caught up into that, we skip past the journey. And the journey is where we learn the most. The journey is where we grow the most. And the journey is what actually makes getting to your destination sweet. That's why, you know, they say that you can't buy happiness. Well, the reason is because you got to be happy within yourself. You gotta have that already, so that when you get to where you're trying to go, because you already were okay and content with yourself, when you get there, that makes the end goal that much sweeter, and that makes it easier to pick up on a new goal. Like, okay, I did that, now it's time to accomplish something else. So, you know, as athletes, we can't get so caught up in our goals that we don't love our process, because the process, that's what takes up the majority of your life. You know, the goal happens once, like boom, okay, I'll reach the goal, and that's it. That's the end. But the journey is what all that stuff is building up to. That's what makes the actual success sweet, is because you went through all this stuff before. You did this over here. You woke up at 3 a.m. over here to get this workout. You worked out when you was tired. You worked out when you was sick here. You ain't feel like getting up this day, but you did it anyway. All that stuff is the weight that is what the success holds.
Definitely. Great advice. Great points.
I guess I was gonna say something similar. Mine is more so of like focus on the little things. Like focus on the little things. When you're focused on like putting the little pieces together, and once you're done doing that, you can step back and see the big picture. Like if we so focus on trying to keep stepping back to see the big picture, we're gonna prolong it. Something that could have taken a year is gonna take 10 or 15, because we keep stepping out of the way. We keep getting in our own way. We keep looking ahead and doing things that don't align with the small things that we're supposed to be doing. Like he said, knowing that I got a game and getting up and getting those extra shots in. It's so easy to stay in bed. It is so easy to go hang out. It is so easy to get distracted. It is so easy. Limit those distractions. Focus on the small things. Focus on what you're there to do. It is so much out there that is trying to pull you away from the purpose that God has put on us. But we have to limit those things. We have to be aware of who we hang out with, what we surround ourselves with, the environment we put ourselves in. Because again, there are things out here that want to steal, kill, and destroy our dreams and our purpose. And if we don't pay attention to the small things, it can happen. So we got to focus, stay focused on the small stuff.
And I would say, especially with the younger athletes now, you have to focus on being yourself. Like, because a lot of athletes, a lot of the young kids, they watch the NBA players. They want to be the next this, the next that. No, don't be the next person. Like, be the next you. Like, focus on being the better version of yourself. Like, you want people to want to be like you. You shouldn't want to be like the next person. Like, so like when we do our camps and stuff, we talk to these kids. Like, I'm not gonna teach you how to be like Steph Curry. I'm not gonna teach you how to be like Mike. Teach you how to be like Kobe. You should be the best version of yourself. Like, be you and focus on that. And understand that if you want it, then you have to go get it. So like, you can't just say you want to do this and that, but you're not putting no effort to go do it. You wanna play ball, but are you doing workouts? Are you watching basketball? Do you got a ball at home? Like, are you dribbling the ball at home, or are you just playing on the video game? So like, if you actually want it, you got to show and put forth the effort, because it's not gonna just be given to you. Because like you said, every little kid dream is to go to the NBA. And you have some who got all the talent in the world to make it, but they don't. And it's because they might not have support behind them, or they might not have put forth the effort they could have to get there. So like, that's what you want to do, do what you got to do to make sure you get and focus on only that, and not like the what if I don't, what if I do. Don't worry about that. Do what you got to do. Make sure you do what you want to do. Now, I'll just say stuff like that.
Facts. Great advice for the younger people, for anybody that's looking to make it. That's the dream for them, right? That's advice that you can take to the bank. If you apply it, it's gonna work for you, right? So let's jump to the rapid fire. New, listen, this or that type questions. Gonna give you a few of them, let you answer. See where your head at. See what's going on, right? So the first one is pretty simple. We ask this all the time, for everybody, because we like to know. People like to know what you're into. My first question for you, right? It's game day, right? Hours before the game, you're preparing for it. We got out as athletes. We rock our headphones. We listen to our music. Give me the top three that you listening to before the game. What's on your playlist?
I'm listening to Ether by Nas.
Okay.
I'm listening to Hate Me Now by Nas.
Come on, you're a West Coast guy. You all the way over there. Come on now.
Yeah. And then I'm listening to Threat by Jay-Z.
You so West Coast. You East Coast. Them West Coast people gonna feel some type of way. I love it. Classic, right? So my next one, right? You say you're a Kobe fan. You threw it out there. So this or that for me. Kobe number 8, Kobe number 24. Give me a why.
It's tough.
That's tough.
No, it ain't.
I'm gonna go number 8.
Come on, give me a reason. Come on.
Wow. I think I'm gonna go number 8 because I don't know. He was just different.
I think number 8 had a point to prove. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like he was. He came in the league and wasn't the best option on his team them first couple years. So he had to let people know, like, hey, like I'm that. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with number 8.
Respect. Rest in peace, Kobe and Gigi and all the other people from that incident. So listen, Kobe 8. I'm with it. I'm remember Kobe came in the league, right? Like you said, he had something to prove. So here we go. This is one of my favorite questions, right? I know you're a Kobe fan, but considering all things, right? Who was the greatest Mike in their prime, right? Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson.
That's a tough one too. I might have to go with Michael Jackson.
You know them in their prime, right?
Right, he might be.
I do. No, I do.
My man is
No,
my man is the knobs.
You know, for Mike, how old are you?
She said, "How old are you, dude?"
I'm 24.
Oh,
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Have you ever even seen Tyson in his
He
prime?
listened to
Like,
Ether. He
I
listened
did.
to Ether though.
that's because of where you from.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Michael Jackson. I can't say Mike. They all Mike.
Right.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. That's a good one. That's a good one. So here we go. I don't know if you're I don't know if you're a gamer. I'm a gamer. For myself, PlayStation or Xbox.
PlayStation.
What you playing?
I really only play like 2K. So
2K. So here's the question. Here's the question. We all do it on 2K. I know football players do it, man. Everybody do it on 2K, right? Here's the question that the people want to know. How good is your My Park player, right? And number two, have you created yourself and put yourself on the team that you want to be on?
yes, and my player, I think he's at like a 98.
Y'all, hey, add my boy on my playing character killing the park. He killing the park. So y'all got shoot me one. Y'all got something this or that. I got one. Shoe. Your shoe of choice. Game time. That shoe of choice. What you rocking?
Kobe's.
Kobe's.
I'm probably Kobe 5 or 6s.
So casually, Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
That's fair. That's fair. So, who is the greatest in there? This is Joe Son question, right? He loves to know what Joe Son, my partner, my brother. He always asks the question. The greatest rapper of all time between. So, two questions: the greatest rapper of all time and the greatest rapper in their prime between Jay-Z, Weezy, and Drake.
Let's see. Low key might have to go Wayne for between them three. I think I might have to say
Okay. Would you say he was the greatest of all time? Who would be the greatest rapper of all time?
greatest of all time. Or okay, but like, are we talking about lyricists? Are we talking about?
Come on,
right?
however you gonna interpret
Just
it,
gonna say that.
however you gonna interpret it, give it to me.
Do both.
Right.
They are separate.
That's
They
fair.
are
That's
separate.
fair. That's fair.
If I'm talking about greatest lyricists, I might have to go old and say like
Come on.
Rakim.
Okay.
Okay.
Just overall, then I'll have to say might have to say Jay.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I give you that's fair. That's fair. It makes you look like you didn't agree with it.
I don't know. I've never really been a Jay-Z fan. I got like maybe like 2 songs of his.
Yeah. See, I mean,
2 or 3 that I know of.
I was a Jay-Z fan for a long time until Nas destroyed him. But
Like I listen to Eminem if I listen to Jay-Z.
the reason why I say that is just because of one, his longevity.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, just the way that he's just stuck. Like, what is he, like almost 50 or something? Or he might be 50, and he's still
Probably is old.
right, and he's still dropping, selling records, and then on top of that, he don't even write.
Yeah.
So it's like
I can see it.
See, I just said that. Yeah, I know. Stephen J. I really said he wrote a lot of Jay-Z stuff.
Okay, I know you from the West, but this or that, South or the West? Which one you prefer?
wait, what are we talking about though?
Like the area. Like, do you prefer
the living wise?
Yeah.
West, easy.
Okay, food wise, West or the South?
South.
Good choice. Choice.
Okay. Staying on food, we give you two more. Staying on food. This is Joe son question too. He always asks, right? Your last meal, and you can only you have it how you want to have it. It's gonna be your last one. What you partaking of? What's your last meal?
Fried chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese, yams, cornbread.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What's your top five? What's your favorite in each position? Like as far as point guard overall, point guard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the good question. We're end on this. We're end on this with this good one.
Okay.
Each position.
Point guard. I'll go AI.
Okay, that's a good one.
Shooting guard, Kobe.
Okay.
Small forward. I want to say
it's the hardest position to choose, right?
Right. I guess I'll go LeBron. I guess. Power forward, I'm going Hakeem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And center. Center, I'm gonna go Kareem.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So I lied. This would be the last one. So that's a good list. It just made me think of it, right? Being from Inglewood, right? California got a lot of teams, right? The Kings, Golden State, the Clippers, the Lakers. Who you taking over the years? Which one of those franchises, and is there a particular team?
The Lakers, easy.
Before LeBron, or after LeBron?
Boy, yeah.
Kobe.
I'm not even. Right.
Kobe.
LeBron is like, I just, he don't got the grit that I need. So
man, that's what I keep telling folks. He just don't have it. He's
I'm be like Uncle Shay. Y'all better get off, go James.
Listen, he a freak of nature. Do not get it wrong. Can't nobody deny his talent, his skills, but he just ain't grit enough for me. He just don't have the killer instinct enough for me. At the end of the game, I don't care who under the basket. I don't care what's going on. We need 2 points. I'm getting this foul, or I'm on top of somebody's head. It's just who finna stop me?
Yeah.
Nobody. And he don't have that. I'm not looking to pass.
And he a crowd.
Y'all better get in here and get this.
Yeah.
Y'all better
We finna end this now. We about to end this now.
Nope.
Y'all better hope I don't hurt y'all on the way to this basket. Y'all better get it.
He cried
I'm
like
with it.
that's
another
real.
All right, yeah, let's move on. You're right. Let's move on. Cause I get to going. Move on.
Go ahead. Before we end it, listen. I appreciate everybody joining us.
You still good, though, LeBron.
We good. It's all right. Listen, I appreciate everybody for joining us. Listen, any last words? Where can the people find you? Again, shout out to Instagram, your Twitter. We'll start with Bred Different. Talk his last words before we end it.
All right, you can catch us on Instagram, Bred Different, BRED _ALS. Facebook, Bred Different Athletics and Life Skills. Our personal tags are on there. Look us up. We got workouts, meal plans, player development workouts, camps, clinics, everything. So just hit us up.
We
I
travel.
believe you slowed that down for me. You slowed that spelling down for me. I believe.
Everybody always think bread as in like the
Yeah,
carb
I'm with it.
bread, but it's like bread
Yeah,
as in like purebred. Like, you know,
putting it
like
together. Yeah, I'm with it.
you
I'm with
got
it.
to
I'm with
train
it.
for this. Like this, you just think you ain't born with this. Like you got to work for this. Like you got to be built
I'm with it.
different for this.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. No, talk to us. Any last words for your fans? Everything. Where can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at newwilliams _ NEWWILLIAMS _ That's on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, you can find me on any of those. I'm training kids too while I'm waiting to get back into my next season, and I got some stuff coming with fitness, and people just understand how to use their bodies and how to elevate their already inside them athleticism.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys can go ahead and follow me Instagram and Twitter at newwilliams _
Definitely. Listen, once again, this is www.killthatnoise.com. I'm your boy, D. Cameron McMahon. Listen, I want to go follow my friends, Kanisha and Jordan, over at Bred Different _ ALS, and my man, New Williams. Listen, we're not going to say his first name. We're just going to call him New, right?
Yeah.
So we just want to thank y'all for joining us. Listen, signing off, my man, Joe Son behind the scenes, getting it done. Appreciate everybody. Signing out. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.